Whoa, hold up. Shalom, Saints. Kwame Yasha. What's happening, y'all? Let me fix this camera up. Get my act together here. Everybody good? It's Friday Night Lights. There's a lot going on. I ain't checked in with the fam in almost 7 days. Seems like a little longer than that. I know some of y'all was looking for the manna Mondays or the Hebrew hump days. It's been that type of week for your brother. So I haven't been able to lock in on them this week, let alone, which I'm going to share with brothers and sisters right now, uh, the IQAhmath channel got struck again, just as it came off of suspension. And you say, how the hell could that happen? You ain't even been on. That's what I'm saying. I haven't even used the channel. And they're finding reasons to suspend that channel. There's no question in my mind, man. The ultimate goal is they're going to delete that channel. So we'll talk about that and some other things, man. I don't know what other camps, congregations, or brothers are going through when it comes down to the censorship and the outright witch hunt of hunting down those that's speaking truth, that's exposing the lies, that's exposing Esau for the devil that he is. They're making a concerted effort, man, to shut things down. So before we begin, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai, man. Hopefully everybody's well. You know the routine, man. If y'all in the house, did you wipe your feet? That's an honest question. Did you wipe those feet? You done came to the house. You know the deal. You knocked on the door. I said it's open. Come on in. All you got to do is wipe your feet. Hit that like button. Hit that like button for your brother, man. We are messengers of the covenant, and myself. We need all the help we can get. As Israelites, man, y'all gotta rally around brothers that's out here, man, laboring. To continually put this word out there for our people. Got to rally around and support the prophets and the teachers of the word of the Lord, man, because there is a serious concerted effort, man. They're trying to shut us up, shut us down, persecute us virtually as it stands right now. But we know that's going to transfer into physical and even mandated laws to say you can't say that. Don't say if you say that, consequences will occur. We're in those times right now, man. Famine of the word is here, and it's creeping in. So do your brother a favor, hit that like button, man. Make sure you wipe your feet, man. Share the video. You got respective social media pages, man. If you're not active, doing your works or whatever the case may be, brother, sister, share videos that you find edifying and that you think is going to help wake your brother and sister up, man. Enlighten the nation. Share it to your social media platforms. Y'all can share the memes, you can share the jokes, you can share, but share the information as well. Whoever it is. I'm not saying just mine's or my congregation. Messengers of the covenant. If it's brothers that's teaching solid, sound doctrine, share it, spread it. Because there's gonna be a time, man, where you're not gonna be able to get this word virtually anymore. Or they're gonna make it hard, or you're gonna have brothers compromising the message and the truth just to stay on, these platforms to maintain, a visibility and a reputation and a name and their likes and views and the monetary monies that they get that generate that they generate money through these streams and whatnot. They don't want to jeopardize that, so they'll be hush hush on it. I've mentioned on a number of occasions, man. It'll be on the description box after the video, but I'm gonna make sure that all of the other links to our sub channels are up. And I encourage brothers and sisters, man, make sure that you subscribe to these other channels as well. The Dry Bones TV, that's going to be one. Make sure you subscribe over there, man. Subscribe to all of our channels, man. Lock into the the Instagram channel, Instagram page. I know we're not super active on there. It's just what it is, man. I'm not. I wasn't grown up and raised to be an Instagram baby. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to figure that out as well as you know, brothers that manage the page. It's just a matter of locking into that thing, man. But nonetheless, all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, man. Shabbat shalom to the fam. Hopefully everybody's good, and we done made it, man. We made it to this rest day. 6 days of labor, man, for sure. That was going on in my life. I'm sure it's with y'all as well. Glad that we slid in the home and we safe, right? Dust yourself off, dust off all that dirt. You slid in the home, you scored, and we ready to roll. All right. Who's in the house, man? Hey, who we got on here? The Quab. Hey, shalom, Mike. Shalom, Shabbat shalom to you and the fam, man. Bayan, you up late. I know my brother's always up late, man. You hanging with me on Friday Night Lights. Shalom to you and the fam, man. Brother Keith, hey, shalom. And we're gonna get rid of that Keith, man. You already know. We're gonna get rid of Keith. All right, all praises, man. But nonetheless, man, it's Friday Night Lights, man. I hope you took your naps. If you didn't, catch it tomorrow. And by this time, it's during the day of the Sabbath. If you're watching right now, but if you're missing it live, you're missing out because we're going in and we got a few things to discuss, right? So, let me just explain this, man. Before let me share my screen. I'm gonna start sharing immediately, okay? Because there's some real BS going on. I'm gonna just tell you that straight up, and y'all already know it. But let's look at this. Look at this news report, right? Fox News, and they're going to be discussing, and I'm sure some brothers and sisters may have heard about it, but there's a disinformation. What are they calling it? Disinformation. I'm trying to remember the exact name so I don't mess it up. Right? Disinformation board. That's what it is. Disinformation board, and you know what that is? That's thought police. That's the Ministry of Truth. If you look at, I didn't read the book. I'm gonna keep it real. Uh, um, uh, 1984, George Orwell. It's a book. I think it was written like in the 40s. Talked about a dystopian future, man, but led by a totalitarian government. Big Brother's watching. You can you get reconditioned. You become pretty much slaves to the state. They mentally whip you, constrain you. There's thought police that's running around making sure that you don't disrupt the narratives of the government, so forth and so on. Pretty much everything we're living right now. Okay. And there's an arm of the government called the thought police. And that's pretty much what we're looking at when you're talking about a disinformation board. We'll look at what the thought police is and Ministry of Truth in a minute. But let's look at this report real quick from Fox News.
Joe Concha, Fox News contributor. Joe, I love a good pie chart. Let's pop up this pie chart again. It really is less of a chart and more of just a pie. Look at that. 99% of Twitter employee donations went to Democrats. A whopping $505 went to Republicans. I wonder why so many Twitter employees were so overly dramatic when they learned that Twitter might actually welcome conservative views following the news of Musk's purchase.
Well, this is as surprising as my Brooklyn Nets getting bounced from the playoffs again, Todd. Right? Because Silicon Valley is overwhelmingly liberal. Look where it is, California, overwhelmingly young. So
this is on the cusp of Elon Musk purchasing Twitter, right? And they're showing the bias of how Twitter's being ran, right? And clearly, it said 99% of the employees, all their donations, everything that was contributed through Twitter went towards Democrats, right? And $500+ was given into Republican campaigns. So it's already letting you know, man, that Twitter is an arm of the government, or was. Who knows? Whatever Elon Musk is talking about. Hold on, let me see what was I talking about. give me 1 second. We'll look at the thought police first. All right, so let me go back over here. I just wanted to pull that article up real quick, or a reference point. But let's get back to this video so we can show you, or I can show you what Fox is talking about. Right? Let me share it this way. I'm gonna make it a little bit more. Okay, there we go.
This is not terribly surprising, but what it shows is the why. And the why in this case is, why are so many liberals getting upset that Elon Musk is taking over the free speech absolutist and leveling the playing field? Why are we seeing such a reaction like this? Well, this is why, of course, because now suddenly conservatives will have an equal voice as opposed to getting suppressed and censored and having their accounts locked out. Suddenly the playground now, guys, has gone away at Twitter. And I would imagine if you look at donations from employees at Google or employees at Facebook, you're going to see similar numbers like this. Let's face it.
So what he's acknowledging is all of the social media avenues that's been given to the quote unquote public, to be your page, your channel, is heavily regulated by the government. And they have their watchdogs, and they have their political innuendos and propaganda and watchdogs that's out there. And if you're going against or speaking against said government, there's going to be problems, right? They already have their quote unquote community guideline. There's no community. Don't act like it's some private little space or community that we all share privately. You know what I mean? Or like this is some real communal place where everybody can be their self. No, it's a community set up by the government under their particular rules and regulations. So he's acknowledging, saying now Twitter is kind of broken free off of the plantation if we leave it to Elon Musk and what he's saying. Now he's acting like, hey, I'm not falling for that. It's really going to be free speech over here. And I'm going to reactivate canceled accounts and all of that. They were already worried about Trump, and Trump was like, no, I'm cool. I'm not even getting back on Twitter. So now all of the Republicans it's starting to rise up. Their numbers is boosting up. Everybody's loving Twitter now because of Elon Musk saying, I'm going to level the playing field, at least through his platform. And the Democrats is tripping and crying and whining. So it's already letting us know, man, that these things, I've always said it, man, that these particular avenues of social media is just cyber rental space, man. We don't own none of this. It's not my channel. It's not my page. It's not my Instagram account. No, you're renting space in a digital world that's owned by the so-called white man and the rest of his damn oppressive heathens. And you got to play by their rules or else. So let's get off of that. It's mine. No, it's not. It's his. The earth's been given into the hand of the wicked. We know that. So don't think that your own little particular account is really yours. I mean, hell, even your real bank accounts. Ask Wendy Williams. Has she gotten her bank account unfroze yet? All the bank had to do is say, "Oh, we don't find you mentally fit, and we signed over your power of attorney of your account to your accountant." And she's like, "No, I don't. I'm not with that, and my accountant shouldn't be handling my. I fired him or whatever she's trying to do, but she can't even get access to her own damn account, and that's financial. That's real. We ain't even talking about this digital space, man, that everybody's trying to fake it till they make it and filtering their way to success." Let's continue.
The big tech overwhelmingly unbiased, and that's why Elon Musk is such a threat to that. And Elon Musk isn't exactly like a conservative either, right? Like, who is he? That's the funny part about this.
Yeah.
The guy who bought us the electric car is something the biggest threat to everybody.
Yeah. Well, speaking of threats, this story is quite unique. The Department of Homeland Security is setting up a a disinformation board. And what it's going to do is it's going to tackle misinformation within minority communities. And
Hold on. Did y'all catch that?
misinformation within minority communities. And
Whoa. You heard right. The objective of this particular quote unquote board, this misinformation board, is focused on quote unquote minority communities. Since when is the average Negro on the street or the wannabe Instagram girl been a threat to the government? Since when have they been out there putting out information that's threatening to the state of affairs of the quote unquote free world? Are they the ones rocking the boat? Are they the ones out here, putting out and promoting a idea of understanding that's way different than what they're talking about? Um, Look, I'm gonna play that one more time for the people in the back who's not paying attention.
And what it's going to do is it's going to tackle misinformation within minority communities. And the person who's in charge.
What do you mean you're the Jews? Black people are not Jews, you're Africans. That's misinformation. What do you mean that the Bible isn't for everybody? That's misinformation. What do you mean we have to keep the laws and pork is unclean and shrimp, crab, lobster? That's misinformation. What do you mean the Bible is in a book of hate speech? Oh, it's talking about slander against homosexuals. That's not right. That's misinformation. People are born that way. You can't teach that. You follow? If you go against what the so-called white man is putting out there and the rest of his governmental cronies, the danger is there. So it's geared towards minority communities, quote unquote. I didn't say it. She did.
Up a disinformation board. And what it's going to do is it's going to tackle misinformation within minority communities. And the person who's in charge of it, her name is Nina Jankowicz, and she's quoted as saying, and this is about Elon Musk, I shudder to think if free speech absolutists are taking over. She's also quoted as saying, we should view Hunter Biden's laptop as a Trump campaign product. So
No, hold on. She's already made a political statement saying, I shudder to think about if free speech absolutists, meaning that there should be no absolute free speech. There has to be limitations. We have to make sure that we shut down or shut up anything that we don't agree with. And now she's put in charge over what you can and can't say in these particular cyberspaces. Then she's famous for saying we should view Hunter Biden's laptop as a Trump campaign product. So she's saying that the whole fiasco back in 2020 that President Trump was pointing out to, or the former President Trump or President Chump was talking about, the heinous things and the criminal activity that was going on Hunter Biden's laptop. That they Democrats and everybody else said, "Oh, it's lies, lies, lies." No, that ain't right. I played the video where him and Trump and slow Biden was going at it, and Trump started talking about all the things that was on the laptop and the information that came about his crackhead son, and him making money from the Ukraine and Russia and China and all of that, and slow Biden said that was all lies. Now all of a sudden they're saying, "Oop, we do have the laptop," and "Oops, yeah, that stuff is there." She's famous for saying, "Oh no, that wasn't true. There was nothing going on with the laptop. That was all Trump propaganda." So clearly she was wrong on that. And she lied about it. And now she's in charge of saying what's true and what's false. You got a damn devil who's in charge of telling us what's right and what's wrong, what's true and what's false. I'm going to stop right there, right? Later on in this thing, they said that Kamala Harris made 30 public, interviews. Slow Biden has done one. I'm calling disinformation on that and fake news. When have y'all seen Kamala Harris do 30 interviews this year? Have you seen that? I'm calling fake news on that. I'm calling fake news on that. They said she did 30 interviews this year. I mean, we're what, in April? She's claiming that she's done what? 10 a month, damn near? Where? When? That's misinformation. Somebody flag whoever put that information out. I mean, that's all BS, man. But nonetheless, man, you see what's going on. So the Watch Dogs has already been committed. They're already saying is we're attacking, and the focus is minority communities. You take a while guessing who that is. You damn right. The Israelites is going to be included in that. Let alone any so-called. Yeah, they ain't even tripping off of BLM, man. They already caught them slipping, buying $6 million mansions off of donations. You ever heard a peep about them? I've covered I don't know how many stories of brothers getting killed by the police damn near every week this year. You ain't heard a peep from them, have you? No, no, no. They too busy trying to figure out how they're gonna split up the profits. They only show face, man, in election time. You'll see later on this fall, they'll get activated again when the primaries kick in. They'll run out and make some noise, trying to get the Democrat Party to go in. But their reputation is getting messed up right now. You always see a little arm of the government, man, always being used. Remember Occupy Wall Street? Remember them? Antifa, BLM. There's always some little right wing group, Proud Boys. They always stir up the pot, man, to activate their little toy soldiers, run them out there when it's election time. Then when everything's calmed down, you don't hear about them no more. So you think they're worried about them? No. The Nation of Islam ain't really kicking up dust like that. They not out there protest. They ain't out there publicly speaking against the government anymore. They've been docile, man. Farrakhan, make backdoor deals, man, and teaching Scientology and all that crap now. I mean, that whole thing has been compromised. So who's really the threat? Are they worried about the NFAC? Not what is it? Not effing around crew or whatever the hell that that coalition is. Grandmaster Jay, where are they at? Nobody's worried about them. Grandmaster Jay's fighting some case, I guess. Laying low. So what minority community are they really worried about? You think they're worried about the LGBTQ HIV community? They're being exalted. I mean, are they anti-gun? No, the government is rolling with them. So what minority community, I ask again, what minority community are they focused in on when it comes down to information? I'll let you marinate and think about that, right? Let's look at let me get this PowerPoint up because this is part of the report. Fox News had a video. I showed the video. This is the report in print, right? Um, And this is what is understood. The woman tapped to be, I'm going to read this. The woman tapped to be executive director of the Biden administration's new disinformation governance board is facing criticism for her political ideology and dismissing the legitimacy of Hunter Biden's infamous laptop in the past. So it shows you that she's loose with it. She's agenda driven. She doesn't quote unquote fact check. She's biased. So that's a danger for all of us as out there teaching truth and maintaining integrity when it comes down to biblical standards, because we know that goes against everything that spiritual Babylon and spiritual Egypt and Sodom stand for. Okay. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas testified Wednesday that a quote disinformation governance board had recently been created to combat online disinformation, and Politico reported that Nina Jankowicz, Janky, we gonna nickname her Janky. You Jakes in the hood, y'all know what somebody who's janky is. I mean, perfect description. Shady, evil, wicked, that's janky. That's old school slang for you youngsters. All right. Politico reported that Nina Jankiewicz, who previously served as a disinformation fellow at the Wilson Center, will head the board as executive director. Why do I bring this out? And why is this important? We should all know this by now, right? Let's get a couple scriptures. I want to get a couple scriptures and let's make sure it's solidified. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't share that. Let me my bad. Here we go. Okay. This is what I was reading here about Nina Janky. Jankiewicz. Okay, but nonetheless, let's look at a couple scriptures. All right, let's go to Daniel, because when you're looking at like throughout history, our particular histories, there's always been times of persecution when our people, especially the men of Israel, man, didn't go along with the program, stood on 10 toes for the Lord, and said, no, we're not going for that. And there was repercussions that ended up coming into play. Let's look at this. Daniel 3 in the 10th verse. It says, Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. So here we are during the times of Babylon, right? And they said that when King Nebuchadnezzar made this decree, it said anytime anyone within the kingdom heard the music play, you know, imagine now when they tell you as a young child, stand up, face the flag, put your right hand over your heart, and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag. And then you got the horns in the back. Dun, 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 dun. When you hear that, stand up. That's what they was doing in Babylon. When you hear the national anthem, stand up, put your right hand over your heart, and pledge your allegiance. That's what they were doing back during the times of Babylon, right? So they said, when you hear the music, you hear the national anthem kicking in, bow down and worship the golden image. Bow down and begin your praise and idol worship. Bow down and defile yourselves after the ways of the heathen, and break loose from your laws and your statutes and commandments, man. Disavow yourself from your obedience to the Most High, Yahweh, and you bow down to this golden image. Or else. Verse 11. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, as my brother and elder Rashab would say, a bad Negro. Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of their province of Babylon. So here they are. These were men of influence. These were brothers who had a voice in their particular province. They were set over affairs. So they was leaders, right? It says, These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Are you not going to go along with the agenda? Are you not going to go along with the propaganda? Are you not going to continually promote and sow lies of discord and disinformation amongst your people? You're not going to feed them the lies that we're feeding you? Huh? You're not going to buy into the narratives? Oh, no? See, that's what was going on. You're not going to bow down, huh? Okay. Verse 15. Now, if ye be ready, that at the time when you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that power? Who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? So I'm not going to finish reading this. Y'all should know the story by now. Clearly, when the song and the music all went to playing, the national anthem, all that went down, these brothers said, we're not bowing down. It's not happening. And they got thrown into the fiery furnace. And you should know the rest. They were delivered out. Yahushua was in there with them. They came out unscathed because their faith and their dedication to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High was supreme and definitely delivered them out of the burning furnace, right? Let's stay in Daniel. So we see here that our forefathers, man, never was compliant when it came down to things that went against the ways of the Most High. Here we go. Daniel 6 and verse 6. It says, Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. So now We're talking about Persians and Medes. All the presidents of the kingdom, and the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains, have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. So, prior to this, if you read and understand the history a little bit further up, all of these particular governors and princes and counselors was conspiring against Daniel because Daniel had favor of Darius, and they didn't like that. They was jealous, right? And they said, well, you know what? We got to figure out, he's standing 10 toes down on his laws, and he's still remaining humble. He's still being in his servitude. He's doing what he has to do to maintain a good name. And they said, well, this is ridiculous. We're made to bow down. We're made not to, to swear our allegiances to any other god or man for 30 days. How come he shouldn't? No, I'm sorry. They made that decree up to give to him because they wanted to set Daniel up. They said, we know for sure Daniel's not going to do that. 30 days? He's going to declare another man as his God or call on another God for 30 days straight? He's not going to do that. We're going to make sure that he gets shackled up and thrown into a den of lions. So everybody should know that history about Daniel and the lion's den. I mean, they teaching that in Sunday schools. So here he is getting set up, right? Verse 8. Now, O king, establish a decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed, according to the law of the Mede and Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now, when Daniel knew the writing that was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber towards Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime. So Daniel said, I'm staying 10 toes down routinely. I'm praying 3 times a day. I'm facing towards Jerusalem, and that's what it is. 30 days. You want me to give off of what I'm instructed to do by the word of the Lord and go praise and pray to another God for 30 days? That's out. Not happening. Right? So there was non-compliance there. And obviously we know that it was found out by the king, and Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, right? And Daniel was delivered again. See, the thing that we're picking up on here is the fact that uh, there's times where we see that our people have been put into situations of conflict when it comes down to governments, when it comes down to compliance with things that we don't see fit, And I say that to say, and I'll explain, what happened with my particular channel after we read a couple more scriptures, right? But I stand on what our forefathers did. It was no let up. We got to just keep pushing and keep smashing them until they just say, you know what, disappear them. They've already did that once with our channels. Just say, you know what, chop it down. And the way they did it was dirty as hell. And they're trying to do it again the same way. So check this out. 2 Maccabees 6, we're going to read verse 1 down to 6. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of their God. So again, here we have the heathen in Greece, underneath the Greek rule, telling our people that we need to Hellenize. In other words, have our people leave off of the ways and the customs of the Jews, the laws and the commandments, and start following after the customs of the Greeks. Thus, how they became Gentiles, how they became strangers in the New Testament. Okay? So there was persuasive. The king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from their laws of their fathers and not live after the laws of God. What else did he say to do? And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. So they wanted them to sacrifice. They wanted them to go and worship out the heathen gods. They wanted to erect and pollute the temple. The coming in, they. I was going to say something, but I'm gonna leave it alone, man. They want you to, roll your sleeve up. They want you to take some poison. They want you to say that you're going to be all better. You're going to be invincible to something that's third letter alphabet -19. You'll be invincible if you get this medicine. You know, you're gonna lose a job if you don't comply. You know the narrative. You know everything that was going along with that, right? So, verse 3, it says, the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. What's going on in the churches now? Been going on in the churches, I should say. Huh? Dallied with harlots? I mean, all kind of fornication, adultery, uh, riotous behavior going on in there. I mean, you see the Holy Ghost parties going on. I mean, you see all of these videos of these Africans, man, in their churches, and it goes on in these other Christian churches here in the States too. I mean, you see everything from I just seen a video, man. This cat is standing in a stand up um barrel with water with his drawers on. Maybe they was boxers, maybe they was shorts, whatever. He's in there, shirt off though, dipping the water in, pulling it out, making his parishioners or his followers drink the water and said it's holy water. And they're walking up. He's dumping it in. They're drinking it, right? I've seen other ones where they're drinking the water, spitting on their heads, saying that that's how they're getting baptized. That's why I said it's happening here in America. You seen that one preacher, man, that spit in his hand a cold loogie and rubbed it all in that brother's face, talking about do it for Christ. And then he came back and apologized and said, "Oh, maybe that was too. I went too hard with the shock value." You think so? I mean, this is the folly that was going on back then. Sacred prostitution, allowing the harlots to hang out at the churches. And these cats is in here, man, paying for the pee, right? Riotous behavior going on in there, revelings. And they said they were doing everything in there that was not lawful. Well, what other institution are people flooding into and they're saying you ain't got to keep the law? You tell me. Verse 5. The altar also filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. I mean, are they not having pork bacon breakfasts after service? Are they not out there barbecuing pork ribs and all that on the Sabbath at some of these churches? Don't lie, I seen them. Seen them. Big barbecue pits right out in front of the church on the Sabbath, cooking up, trying to hustle up some money. Same thing that Christ was running in there, flipping over the tables, whipping and chasing cats up out of the temple, saying how they've made the house of the Lord a den of thieves and robbers on the Sabbath. Money changers and all of that. Ain't no different. What else are they doing? Doing mischief that was sore and grievous to the people. That was going on back then. But check this out. Verse 4. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. Verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So that sounds like your speech was restricted, does it not? You can't say what you want to say. You can't do what you want to do, right? That's the point. That's the times that we're living in right now. Now I say this to say, brothers and sisters, the issue with again my channel, the IQAhmath channel, right? Got suspended a week ago, a little more than a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, something like that, right? Out of nowhere, for a video that was uploaded July of 2020, no, July of 2021. July. Here they come April of 2022 and say, Oh, sorry, this video violated our community guidelines for misinformation. And they start talking about the vid and saying I said some medical misinformation about the vid, right? There's no appealing that. There's no nothing. I tried in times past. Only thing they come back and say is, yeah, you got medical misinformation. The bigger question is how or why would they archive into our channel? We got a little channel. We ain't no big time players in this game when it comes down to the virtual space. Our little channel. They go digging into the archives, going back damn near 9, 10, 11 months of a video that's been playing, video that's been on. No, if it was bad, bad, why didn't they catch it then and say something back then? No, they can't do that, right? So boom, get hit. Supposed to been off of suspension, I think Tuesday of this month, Tuesday or Wednesday, right? Soon as it gets off, within 24 to 48 hours, I get hit again. I didn't even get to use access, log on, nothing. Boom, another email get last night. Oh, we had to flag your channel again. We found another video, medical misinformation. Can't say what I said, where I said it, what happened, nothing. Again, an archive video from last year. So the witch hunt is on, y'all. It's not even current. Nothing current's going on. I mean, I don't know if it's some haters that's just reporting, saying, hey, flag this channel, check this channel out. We don't like what they're saying. That's possible. But knowing that there's a disinformation board that's getting ready to go hot on everybody in the quote unquote minority communities, you already know what's going to happen. So that's why I encourage brothers and sisters, man, start downloading this information, start downloading your classes, start downloading stuff, because eventually this information, the truth, so forth, it ain't gonna be what you looking for on the internet no more. We're gonna be up out of here, and you're gonna have to catch brothers on the highways and the byways while that's available. Until that is outlawed. So start downloading your stuff, man. Start sharing it. Start spreading it, man. Because hey, if they shut off this channel, we're gonna keep trying to bounce around and play the game as long as we can. But at the same point in time, just know that the IQAhmath channel, that's got like one more strike, and then it's out of here. And there's no way I can stop it, because only thing they got to do is just go back and archive another old video and say, oh, this one too. And as soon as I say, what was said on there? Oh, don't worry about it. We whatever we said goes. They did that to our previous channel, congregation channel. Archived the old video, hit us up back to back. And that third strike was the end of our channel. We couldn't appeal, couldn't do nothing. So the witch hunt is on, man. And they don't live by scriptural principles. They don't live by this in First Thessalonians. They don't live by the rules. But the Most High said, man, if you're gonna say something, man, let it be at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. If you're gonna say something, make sure that you have some proof. See, what is this? Prove all things, hold fast that which is good. That's First Thessalonians 5:21. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But do they do that? No, of course not. They're not gonna stand on principles, man. Look at this. 2 Corinthians 13:1. This is the third time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. I mean, they give you the so-called right to appeal, and they never give you the right to have any personal contact with anybody. Everything is bot driven. You tell them, man, can somebody personally, review my video, man? Point out to me, timestamp it, where I said what I said. They don't do that. They don't do that, right? Because the ultimate goal is, man, they just trying to get rid of anybody that goes against the narrative. Y'all know, anything that I put out, I'm putting out mainstream articles. So this ain't just something I'm coming up with. Go to Fox, go to CNN, go tell them that they're peddling disinformation. Go to Daily Mail, go to Al Jazeera, go to RT, go to all these places that I've sourced information from, and you tell them that they're giving disinformation. and you're jeopardizing people's channels because they're believing what you're saying. And mind you, probably 80% of the stuff that was said a year ago, they've all flip-flopped and said, actually, that's right now. How about that? See, that's why they can't even say what was said, because I'll probably find some articles, information, or research or medical journals that says, actually, that was right back then. The narrative that you said wasn't true. Now you got to sit back and say, oops, that is the truth now. So who knows what they said? But check this out. Proverbs 13:13 says, whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. See, that's what it's about. So I'm not really tripping. The Most High said, man, you despise his word, they're going to be destroyed. That's the ultimate goal, man. They're going to be destroyed. But we have to maintain the fear of the Most High and keep the commandments. Because the witch hunt is definitely on. Y'all already seen it, man. Amos 8:11. Here we go. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. That's coming, y'all. Slowly but surely. They taking out the little guys like me and the other brothers and messengers of the covenant. They're going to try to take us out, silence our voices first, then go after the big dogs, the rest of the brothers and sisters, man, who's got heavier presences on. And maybe it's because over the last 2 years I go a little bit more heavier when it came down to the whole COVID thing, and that's what they always keep saying. But nonetheless, I digress, man. So y'all should understand and know where we headed. Okay, so I encourage brothers and sisters, man, support brothers that's out here teaching, putting out information that's sacred to the community, because Esau is getting ready to try to shut everybody up. And they're gonna do every little trick in the book to try to silence brothers, man. And subscribe to the other channels. Make sure that you're locked in. You hit the notification bell. We already know, even with the algorithms, man, they messing with that. They won't notify people when Jake's is going live and all that. It's all kind of folly going on, man. That's why we always said, man, the internet is a gift and a curse, man. It's a great tool. It's led to a lot of awakening to Israel, man. Access to information is incredible. But at the same point in time, the back doors for the damn demons of Satan and the lies and the disinformation from them make their way in. And the folly that comes along with it, man. So, it's a give and take situation. It is what it is. Enough of that. Let's get to the other news. You seen it here. Is Russia declaring World War III? That ain't hype. I don't know how much I can stress to brothers and sisters, man, how real the situation is. Um, and the preparations and the spirit and drawing closer to the Most High, man, and staying on point right now is of the utmost importance. I can't put no time frame on how things are moving, because no man knows the day or the time. But I would encourage brothers and sisters, man, to, make sure you're right in the spirit, man, fearing the Most High, keeping the commandments, man, staying locked in, trying to understand these prophecies and seeing where things is headed, because it's all headed down a dark, deep path, man, that the scriptures say, man, it's going to be like a time never seen before in history. That's in Daniel, the 12th chapter, man. Matter of fact, let me make sure I'm on point with that. Because, it's going to be hard to prepare for something, man, that you ain't never seen before. Yeah, 12 and 1. Look at this. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, not for the children of the world. We all know who the people of the Lord is. You, me, the 12 lost tribes of Israel, man. Blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, man. We're the people and the children of the Lord. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never, I repeat, never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at the same time that people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. I'm trying to get my name in that book, man. I'm trying to get my family solidified in that book. I'm trying to get brothers and sisters, man, that I'm associated with through our congregation or just externally, through my voice and whatever influence that I got. to get brothers and sisters, man, on the path, man, to get in that book. Because look, it says never was since there was a nation this trouble is coming. You can read about the Greek and uh, the Roman and the Greek Jew wars. Nothing compared to what's happening. World War One, World War Two, nothing. The American Revolution, the Civil War, nothing. Spanish American War, you can't compare it. All the great wars of David, tens of thousands, Philistines getting put to death, Amalekites, you name it. But most I said, you still don't understand what's heading down this pipeline. Okay, we're talking World War III, man. We've been talking about this for a long time. 2 weeks ago, all the nations is talking about nukes, nukes, nukes. Now, the UK Defense Secretary has said that Putin could declare World War III within days. That's him saying it. I didn't say that. So don't run off and say, man, that brother IQ said Putin said he's going to start World War III in 3 days. No, I didn't say that. I'm reading the headlines. I'm reading what the UK Defense Secretary thinks is going to be happening. He said within days. This is an article printed yesterday. So he's talking by the weekend. He's talking about maybe next week. Who knows, right? Putin could declare World War III within days, UK Defense Secretary. UK Defense Secretary Ben Wallace was warned that Putin may try to, quote, mobilize the Russian people with a global offensive against, quote, Nazis as his invasion of Ukraine has, quote, failed. Russian President Vladimir Putin could declare World War III in just days' time, according to the UK Defense Secretary. Ben Wallace said that the despot will probably attempt to mobilize the Russian people amid his failing special military operation. Russian troops first crossed the border into Ukraine on February 24th, claiming they wanted to denazify the country. Putin has also threatened to use nuclear weapons against Western powers if they got in his way. Well, we're going to find out if they're getting in his way or not. With Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov saying the threat of nuclear war, quote, is serious. I mean, this ain't fear mongering. This ain't hyperbole. This ain't, propaganda. This is what they saying. Now, you can take it for real if you want to. You can say, oh, man, we got plenty of time, man. Ain't nothing going on, man. Shoot. Okay. So be it. It's the reason why Yahweh said, man, the day will overtake you as a thief in the night. Because a lot of our people, man, they want to put blinders on. A lot of our people want to bury their heads in the sand. A lot of our people is praying for more time. I'm talking about even in the truth. But we don't see any evidences of that because as we keep going on over these current events, and y'all done seen throughout all of the damn, episode 105 of DSTM, the last 105 episodes has been everything leading up towards the final frontier prophetically according to the Bible. All right. So let's read on. It says, now speaking to LBC, Wallace warns that Putin may ramp up his rhetoric in the coming days. So we'll see. Let's move on. Russia warns of World War III after top U.S. officials visit Kyiv. So this is a whole nother article. This was printed out last weekend, April 23rd. So here we see the UK Defense Secretary saying World War III could happen in days. Now they're saying Russia's even saying it. After they U.S. officials visit Kyiv. So U.S. is going over there, visiting the capital, Kyiv over there in Ukraine. And Russia says, I warned you, I told you, stay out of the business. There's going to be consequences if you continue on. So now the threat comes out again. Russia on Monday warned the Ukraine conflict risked escalating into a third world war and accused Kyiv of playing at peace talks a day after visiting. U.S. officials said Ukrainian forces could beat back Moscow's invasion. The conflict has triggered an outburst of support from Western nations that has seen weapons pour into Ukraine to help them wage war against Russian troops. Speaking of Russian news agencies, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov criticized Kiev's approach through floundering peace talks, saying the risk of World War III is serious. It's real. You can't underestimate it. That's a quote. Look at this. Russia seen loading nuclear-capable missiles onto submarines heading to the Ukraine. What, didn't they just do the test run of the Satan II missile a week and a half ago with great success? They said that this missile can blow up all of France. It can reach the what did it say? I think New York in like 12 to 15 minutes. We did the math about how far the mileage was. How far Russia is to Alaska, New York, LA, DC. Go back to episode 104. That missile was capable of reaching right here, right now. And now they see they've been caught loading nuclear capable missiles. Didn't say that they had nukes on them, but nuclear capable missiles onto submarines heading towards Ukraine. Russia's threatened the world with nuclear war on several occasions during its long drawn out invasion of the Ukraine is now seemingly ready to put words into action. The threat of nuclear war by Russia has ramped up after new leaked images show a Russian submarine being stocked up with nuclear capable missiles. Lethal caliber strategic missiles have been spotted being put onto a Veliki Novgorod diesel electric submarine, which is thought to be heading to Ukraine to potentially be used in the invasion. It was in the dock of Sevastopol, according to the Ukraine Now Telegram channel. Russian caliber type cruise missiles were loaded onto Veliki Novgorod diesel electric submarine, the very ones bombing the peaceful cities of the Ukraine. Need I say more? I mean, look. There's different elements of this. There's different elements of this in Second Peter. You know what? I think we're gonna start at verse 10. Let's look at this. Let's start at verse 9. It says, "The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness." See, the Most High is not sleeping like we do. You know, we sleep, we put off, we get lazy, we get complacent, we sit back and put off, we get slothful, you know, we get tempted, we get caught out there, we get to thinking, oh, I got time, I can slack off. No. The Lord said, I'm not slack. Reading on, it says, but is long suffering to usward. So the Most High said, I'm long suffering towards my children, my people. I want them to get it right. I want them to wake up. I want them to return back to me. I need them to repent. He said, I'm long suffering, man. I can put up with a whole lot. Not willing that any should perish. He said, I don't want my people to perish. He tells you that in Ecclesiastes, or is it Wisdom of Solomon, the first chapter. He said he didn't create death for man. Yeah. Wisdom of Solomon 1:13 down to 16. Tell you that the Most High didn't create death. Neither does he have pleasure in the destruction of the living. He wants us to repent. He wants his children to do so, man. He said, but unholy men and their works brought death upon them. He said, man, I ain't gonna let you get away. You can't take kindness for weakness. He said, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. That's the whole mission. That's the goal. That's what we out here teaching our people, to come back to repentance, man. Teach the law. Why are we talking about repenting in the New Testament if the laws are done away with? What are we correcting? What guidelines do we need to use in order to correct ourselves? What guidelines do we need to use in order to not go back to? I mean, what should I be looking for to do that? The laws, statutes, and commandments, man. First 5 books of Torah. For the ignorant Christians, man, who keep talking about it's about grace and faith and the blood of Jesus, and you ain't got to worry about that law. It's too hard. Just keep the 2. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and thy soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. That's good enough. No. So you telling me that the homosexual can still run around? You can sit back and tell me you can still charge usury. You can still you can steal. Oh, well, no, that's not loving your neighbor. Oh, well, listen, go by what's written then. You got 613. Let's look at them. Are they all encompassing in those 2? Quite possibly. but they're itemized for a reason so that you make sure that you don't miss any facets of moral or civil behavior, not leaving it up to your own interpretation or understanding of what it is to love your neighbor. Because you leave it to the Christians, man, that just means hug them and kiss them on the cheek and say good morning, neighbor, every damn day. Don't they do that in the churches? Turn to your left and say, hi, neighbor. All of y'all been in the church, you know how they do it. After a good 15, 20 minutes of, clap dancing and shaking the tambourines and dancing and jigging all up and down the pews. And then while you're feeling good, stand up and say good morning to your neighbor. Say God bless you to your neighbor. Say they think that's what loving your neighbor as yourself is. Not realizing that there's a whole set of civil and moral laws itemized for us to understand. So here we are talking about repenting. What does it mean to repent? Thought about that? What are we changing our ways from? What are we being corrected by? There's a law that we have to adhere to. Newsflash. Verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. That's the day of the Lord. So you talking to chariots? You talking about flaming fire, fervent heat, man? Everything melting and burning and going to shreds, man? It's going to be preluded by World War III, nuclear warfare. Great noise. You talking about, heaven's going to be passing away. You talking about the destruction of the damn ozone layer. Nuclear fallout lasts hundreds of years. And then you got the cleanup crew. You got the chariots is going to actually completely turn this place into a perpetual smoking warfare in the Middle East. Valley Jehoshaphat, man. War. The nation's going to be trying to rise up against Yahweh and the angels. This place is going to really. That's why I said it's going to be like no other time. And here we're seeing a lot of nuke talk going on. A lot of nuke talk going on by the nations. So Russia's making good on their promise. Look at this. Russia-Ukraine war latest. Former NATO commander warns the West must gear up for war. This is a former NATO commander. This is one of the former heads and commanders of the whole coalition of nations that's to rise up against Russia and its allies. He said, get ready for war. As Russia's invasion of Ukraine hits its 64th day, a former NATO commander urged the West to prepare for a, quote, worst-case scenario war with Russia. Meanwhile, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Thursday visited areas around Kyiv that were formerly held by Russian forces. Quote, the war is evil, he said, while standing beside destroyed apartment blocks in the town of Borodyanka. So, war is being spoken of, rumored of, started, right? And the West is being warned, you better get ready. Russia investigates a media report on the presence of British SAS special forces in the Ukraine. I thought the NATO nations wasn't supposed to be in the Ukraine. I thought they wasn't going to be fighting in this war. I thought they said they're not going to be fighting on Ukrainian soil. They're going to stand off and defend all the NATO nations according to Article 5. They're not supposed to be over there, are they? Oh, but there's a report that Russia's saying, hold on, we're getting reports that British SAS special forces is in the Ukraine fighting. That's a violation. That means another broken covenant, another broken treaty. That only means and gives Russia more justification to go hot with their intentions of nuclear war if they hold up with their threats. That's all that this means. Russia's top state investigative body said on Saturday it was looking into a Russian media report alleging that sabotage experts from Britain's SAS special forces have been deployed to Western Ukraine. Remember last episode 104, it said that the U.S. had a damn spy plane over the Black Sea where that Russian destroyer ship got hit up with the missiles. So, or the rockets. So the U.S. filtered intelligence over to the Ukrainians, and they utilized it to destroy the ship. So is the U.S. involved in the war? Is it SAS, British forces, already there? Has World War III already began? That they're just not publicizing it and letting it be known that everything is already going hot, everything is already lit. This is why Putin is amping up and saying, you know what? If y'all already starting, then I guess I might as well go ahead and start loading up these nukes then. Special Air Force, reading on, it said the Special Air Service is an elite military force trained to conduct special operations, surveillance, and counterterrorism. Russia's RIA Novosti news agency on Saturday quoted a Russian security source as saying about 20 SAS members have been sent to the Lviv region. Look at this. In a major reversal, after warning of nuclear war, Germany approves tanks for the Ukraine. Germany was holding out. They said, we're not giving tanks to the Ukraine, man. It's only going to make things worse. We're relying on our gas and our power coming from Russia, man. If they find out we go ahead and we're giving weapons and giving tanks to the Ukraine, man, we're helping to fight this war by proxy, man, we're going to be through. You're asking for nuclear war, man, if you're asking me to help. That was their original stance. Now, guess what? After pressure from NATO, they said, look, you better send them tanks over there, man. There's going to be problems. And look, in a major reversal after warning of nuclear war, Germany approved tanks for the Ukraine. So now Germany has said, you know what, forget it. I can't risk my allegiances with NATO. Let's just go ahead and send them the tanks, man, because I don't want to be left out here alone and have to deal with Russia by myself. In a major reversal following Chancellor Olaf Scholz, damn German names, only days ago voicing strong resistance. Only days ago, he flip-flopped that fast. He was strongly against helping Ukraine with weapons. It appears Berlin has bowed to the mounting pressure among allies. Oh, they must have heard that national anthem of NATO. That was their Daniel 3 and Daniel 6 moment. Bow to the mounting pressure among allies and approved new tank deliveries to Ukraine from Germany's own stock, which Scholz had previously said was depleted. So he even tried to lie and said, we ain't got no more tanks, man. We can't help. Oh, they found some tanks somehow. The German Ministry of Defense announced Tuesday that delivery of Gepard anti-aircraft tanks to Ukraine has been approved. As part of Schlaf's earlier rejection of sending heavy weapon systems, he has cited the potential for the West and Russia sliding into World War III and a nuclear war scenario. So we're seeing it all being continually ramped up, man. There's not going to be no end in sight for a while for this war. Look at this. Hell on earth. Brit fighters trapped in bunkers with starving Ukrainians as Russia pounds besieged Mariupol. Hold on. Russia was investigating when media reported President Assad. Oh, and now they're saying it's confirmed Brit fighters are trapped in the bunkers with starving Ukrainians. So the UK has jumped in on the fight. So NATO nations are involved in this fight already. Interesting. So again, has World War III began? We'll see. But we do see that clearly NATO nations have broken their covenant and their treaties, and they're jumping in and they're helping. Boots on the ground. Remember, Slow Biden said, we will not be fighting a war on Ukrainian soil. We're not sending troops to Ukraine to fight. No, you don't have to. When you can send spy planes over, when you can send drones, when you can give them billions of dollars, when you can give them training, when you can give them weapons, that's all fighting war by proxy. You involved by default, man. You're fighting a war. I mean, look, when you got the Godfather, man, let's just say in the mafia, Godfather puts out a hit on somebody. He doesn't do it. He doesn't get his hands dirty, but he's got the henchmen and he's got the guns. He supplies the guns. He pays off the damn hitman, says, here, I give you 15 G's, man. I need this dude dead by tomorrow. Here's a gun. It's clean. Go handle that for me. You don't think that the Godfather's going to get hit with a conspiracy for murder charge too? He's not going to be an accomplice for murder? He put out the hit. So you think America is guiltless, holds no blood guiltiness by saying we never sent troops. We don't have no troops on the Ukraine fighting. No, you don't need to. You facilitated the whole damn thing. And you supplied and funded the war. Same thing that they did in Nicaragua. Same thing that they do in all these other countries, man. When they doing overthrows and they setting up puppet leaderships and overthrows of countries in South and Central America, they always do that. They funding the guerrilla movements. For all of y'all that like the snowfall, and that was prime example, and that was all real. That was all real, based off of Freeway Rick Ross and Fernando Blandon, what's his name, Blandon, and Gary Webb, Oliver North. All that was real. So here we see the same scenario. The UK's doing the same thing, sending over their troops, training up the Ukrainians, giving them weapons, and even fighting next to them. And now they're trapped in bunkers. Look at this. An American killed fighting alongside Ukrainian forces in the Ukraine. Yeah, we know that these were volunteer troops that was running over there saying, you know, we're going to go defend America on our own. They're not saying that they're representing America as part of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. But however, they're considering themselves as U.S. soldiers going over there to fight. So now an American now has died. Is America going to stand up and defend one of their own? Are they going to get involved? Or are they going to say, hey, man, you went over there on your own fruition, man. You went over there to go fight that humanitarian fight. Too bad you died. You're not going to get an honorable burial. We're not going to acknowledge it. Or are they going to step up and say, hey, they killed one of ours? They went over there and quote unquote did the right thing. They're trying to liberate and help the Ukrainian people. Man, we need to go ahead and stand up for him. Which one of y'all think is going to happen? He looked like a 10 tribe cat too, but I don't know. I know his mother's name was Cabrera, but his name, he probably under a fake name. I don't know. He say his name is Willie Joseph Cancel. But anyway, look at it. But look what he was doing. He was a mercenary, paid mercenary. Okay. An American citizen, Willie Joseph Cancel, was killed fighting alongside Ukrainian forces in the Ukraine. Members of Cancel's family confirmed to CNN. The 22-year-old was working with a private military contracting company when he was killed on Monday. See that? This guy was a paid mercenary working with a private military contractor. Military contractors, man, they go over there and they pay to the highest bidder. So who funded them? Can't be the Ukrainians is begging for money. Are they taking the money and flipping it and paying these private contractors to come in and fight? Somebody's paying them. Who's got all the money? We'll find out as we continue on this evening. The company had sent him to Ukraine and he was being paid while he was fighting there. Cancel's mother, Rebecca Cabrera, told CNN. Cancel, a former U.S. Marine, according to his mother, signed up to work for the private military contracting company on top of his full-time job as a correction officer in Tennessee shortly before the war in Ukraine broke out at the end of February. Cabrera said when the war began, the company, according to Cabrera, was searching for contractors to fight in Ukraine, and Cancel agreed to go, Cabrera said. So, do I have proof to say that America is funding these contract killers, these contract military contractors? No. But you put two and two together. Slow Biden says we're not going to send troops. Troops are not being sent to, U.S. troops are not going to be sent to Ukraine to fight. You know, we're sending them to Germany. We're going to send them to Poland. We got them set up on our military bases with our NATO allies. But we're not going to put them over there in Ukraine. But what we will do, this is my thoughts. What we will do is we've got plenty of private military contractors, former special ops, former Marine, former, they got all the same skills as current soldiers. Now we can pay them to go over there and fight with you. How about that? The Ukrainians just do it. They was out there talking about, man, giving farmers guns and saying everybody pick up a gun and get out of here. You think they're gonna turn that down? They're gonna say, man, slow Biden, send them, please. So again, are there Americans over there fighting under quote unquote private military contractors? Absolutely. Are they going over there with their U.S. issued fatigues, guns, weapons, and everything? Oh, you see it on him. See now the games they play? This is the smoke screen that's going on. And now when Russia gets these particular reports, they're saying, hold on, we're finding out that NATO forces, SAS, the U.S. has got soldiers, troops on the ground in Ukraine. They violated Article 5. Now, do we have rights to, load up these nukes on the submarines? Absolutely, we do. That's what the Russians are saying. And Putin already put out the warning. If you keep getting involved in this business over here, there's going to be unheard of consequences. So, look at this. NATO officers stranded and trapped in Mariupol. Russia gained control of Mariupol, Ukraine. It is learned that 50 high-ranking French officers, another NATO nation over there. 50 French officers were trapped at the Avastal metallurgical plant. So you got British SAS officers over there, French officers over there, an American just got killed over there. And we're still wondering as World War III began. Okay, keep wondering. Keep wondering. It just hasn't gone full blown where all the nations are saying, you know what, our cover's blown, the hell with it. Let's just go all out. They're fighting a covert war right now where they can't let it out to the public. Hey, it's already going. From what I'm reading, what we're seeing right now, NATO nations is already over there fighting, man. And Russia's saying, okay, if that's what it is, then we might as well just go all out. Remember this guy? Now all of a sudden he's been identified. The ghost of Kiev is killed. See, they had to kill off this narrative because remember when he first came out and they was playing Top Gun. For the youngsters out there that don't know about Top Gun, that was an old Tom Cruise movie. Fighter jet pilots and Iron Eagle, that other movie. This guy was supposedly out there, shot down 6 or 9 Russian planes, and nobody knew who he was. He came out of nowhere. Meanwhile, they ended up saying that the footage that they were showing was from a video game, so that wasn't real. So now all of a sudden, that whole thing, more wag the dog stuff. Now all of a sudden, that narrative got killed. So they said, well, we got to kill off that character out the movie. We got to kill him out of here. All of a sudden, he's identified. Ghost of Kiev is killed. Ukrainian fighter Ace, who shot down more than 40 Russian aircraft. 40. I mean, and there's no additional footage of this. Has anybody seen any of these 40 spectacular air gun battles going on? Have y'all seen that? Let me look in the chat. Hold on, I haven't checked the chat in a minute. Let me look real quick. Anybody seen that? Anybody seen that? I don't see none yet. Okay. Yeah, look like it's been a mystery. Look like it's been a mystery. Okay. But you see the narrative though. We got to kill this guy off, man. 40 aircrafts he did by himself. Dies in battle against overwhelming enemy forces. Oh, he just bit off more than he could chew. The legendary Ghost of Kiev fighter pilot who shot down more than 40 Russian aircraft died in battle last month. It has been revealed. Major Stepan Terabalka, 29, a father of one, was flying a MiG-29 when he was shot down on March 13, battling overwhelming enemy forces. He quickly gained worldwide fame after shooting down 6 Russian aircraft on the first day of the invasion. And clearly they said that the footage that was being shown was from a video game. Wag the dog at its finest. Anyway. More warfare is still going on in Afghanistan. Slow Biden is to blame for this. Remember when he took out the troops out of Afghanistan, man? Them Ishmaelites was falling and hanging off of planes. They was begging to get out. ISIS was taken back over, and Slow Biden said they're in good hands. We trained them up well. They should be fine. We don't expect no problems over there. And then they went and all hell broke loose over there. Broke their covenant with trying to protect them people over there, man. That's the devil for you. Broke their covenant trying to keep up with the Ishmaelites over there, and they packed and said, "Man, we're out of here. We got another war that we're planning later on down the line. We can't keep wasting time over here." So now Ishmael's over there killing each other over there. Suicide bomber kills 50 in a suspected ISIS attack on Afghanistan mosque as the country descends further into chaos. And then, if you remember, the U.S. did a drone strike back in August, and they killed innocent women and children, and came back and said, "Oops, sorry. Maybe we can give some money, to the families. That was a mistake. Oops." Y'all remember that? Just in case y'all don't remember. See, I'm moving too fast. I forgot even to go over this, man. Real quick. This is dealing with the Disinformation Board. Okay, 1984, the Thought Police. I seen the movie. I didn't read the book. I'll keep it real with y'all. All right. So the movie, I seen it on Amazon. As a matter of fact, you might be able to see it on Amazon Prime for free. But it's slow. It's British, and it's dark. But you gotta, stick with it to really understand what was happening. All right. So who are the Thought Police in 1984? In 1984, the Thought Police are an organ of the totalitarian state charged with ensuring that the people don't step out of line. A secret police force. The Thought Police exists to root out all forms of subversion, including thought crimes, which are the most serious crimes of all. You can't be a free thinker. You can't have freedom of speech. See, thought crimes are those thoughts that in any way challenge the rule of the party. Any way challenge the rule of the party, which is why they're regarded by the state as so dangerous. Okay. That's just a little excerpt about the Thought Police in 1984. Okay. So then you wonder why there's a disinformation board that's going on right now. They also have something called a Ministry of Truth. It's like if we're going back, I forgot I was going to touch on that, right? Let's look at this real quick and see what this is. The Ministry of Truth was one of four ministries used by the INGSOC to govern Oceania. Oceania was the name of the country in 1984. All right. The Ministry of Truth is in charge of propaganda following the principle of doublethink. Its name means the precise opposite of what it actually does, as many true. Its newspeak name concerns itself with spreading lies. See, they're saying, in other words, they say that they're the Ministry of Truth, but they're really the Ministry of Lies. Y'all should understand and know that's exactly what's been going on for the last 2.5 years, dealing with this pandemic and dealing with all the madness that came along with it. How many lies? Go back and just chronicle all and y'all have been following along. Some of y'all are new. Go back and figure out how many lies, articles, quotes, video clips did I play of Frankenstein, Fauci flip flopping, slow Biden getting caught in lies. I mean, it's endless, and they're saying they're telling the truth. And the ones who speaking the truth, they're saying no, they're the liars. See how that works? The ministry makes sure all information available to the population of Oceania conforms to within current party lines. Hello? Disinformation board? Mrs. Jankowski, whatever her name was. The ministry makes sure all information available to the population of Oceania conforms with current party lines. They also were in charge of changing accounts of the past and destroying any evidence that would prove the party false. Did you hear that? They are also in charge of changing accounts of the past Anyone who's online right now, you declaring yourself an Israelite, man, you're on here because you realize that the accounts of the past were lies. And you've woken up to the quote unquote truth. There's a reason why in John 8:32, Yahushua said, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." That's because you broke free for the ministry of truth or the ministry of lies. Okay. And destroying any evidence that will prove the party false. Oh, so we got to suspend this channel? We need to delete this channel? We need to delete that page? Or we need to suspend and put you in Facebook jail? We need to destroy any evidence that will prove that the party is acting false or that they're lying. Okay? So that's what that's about. Truth is stranger than fiction, y'all. Truth is stranger than fiction. I repeat. Oh, see, I was gonna go. There you go. Hold on. August 29th. 10 family members, including children, are dead. See? Where's the humanitarian effort? You know, they keep talking about Putin and how many women and children he didn't kill over there in Ukraine, right? Where was the outcry from the world when the U.S. did this? 10 family members, including children, dead after U.S. strike in Kabul. 10 members of one family, including 7 children. Hello? 7 children are dead after the U.S. drone strike targeting a vehicle in a residential neighborhood of Kabul of a relative of the dead, told CNN. The U.S. carried out what is called a defensive airstrike in Kabul, targeting a suspected ISIS-K suicide bomber who posed as a, quote, imminent threat to the airport, the U.S. Central Command said Sunday. Clearly, that didn't go down. U.S. then killed 10 family members, 7 children. And their answer was, sorry, maybe we can send them some money. That's blood on the hands of slow Biden. Now you got 50 suicide bombers over there in Afghanistan. More blood on the hand of slow Biden. Where's the outcry? This is how you know, man, the so-called white man is in control of the earth, man, because there is no outcry. This is how you know America is central command as Babylon, spiritual Egypt. Slow Biden is the said pharaoh of the time. And nobody's rising up against him. Nobody's going to say the U.S. is wrong for that. So we're seeing more war go on, man. More chaos, more hell, more civil unrest, uproars of the people, man. Moving on. China calls Russia's relationship a new model for the world. So what's the new model? China now has already made sure that their allegiances with Russia is clear. Look, China stepped up its rhetoric support for Russia. Support for Russia. Remember early off, they was trying to get Russia. I mean, they wanted China to condemn it. China was like, "Nah, we're not going to condemn it, but we want peace. We don't need to be going through this." That's flip flop now. Now China's saying, "You know what? We riding with Russia all the way." They've already set up economics fallback for the sanctions. They've created more allegiances and more doorways and pathways in South and Central America. China just went and set up shop over there in the Solomon Islands, getting closer to Australia, creating another threat. We covered that last weekend. So they're saying, get used to it. This is the new model for the world. They're trying to establish their own new world order. See, China stepped up its rhetorical support for Russia, defying the U.S. and other nations who want Beijing to condemn Moscow for the war in Ukraine. Quote, an important takeaway from the success of China-Russia relations is that the two sides rise above the model of military and political alliance in the Cold War era. Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijiang said, adding that they, quote, commit themselves to developing a new model of international relations. That model involved not causing confrontations or targeting other nations, Zhao said at a regular briefing Friday in Beijing. He added that this this was different from the Cold War mentality displayed by certain countries. Beijing's standard criticism of U.S. cooperation with blocs like the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, whose expansion Beijing says led to Russia's attack. So China's saying this is the new model. Get used to it. We riding with Russia. What do y'all want to do? In a nutshell. Look at this. And slow Biden going out here panhandling some more for the Ukrainians. You've got inflation, high gas prices, energy prices, starvation, right here in your own damn supposed country, empty shelves. And he's drumming up $33 billion. Debt. People are living from check to check. Everybody's in debt. And he's talking about Congress, I need 33 more billion to go send to the Ukrainians. Panhandling for the damn for Ukraine, because what, he made money with Ukraine. He's obligated because they got dirt on him. He's on that laptop. Oh, they don't believe? Oh, okay. We're going to see. Hold on. Biden asked Congress for $33 billion for Ukraine and says the cost of this fight is not cheap, but caving to aggression is going to be more costly. You don't have to cave in. You can go get lit, man. Go over there and fight. You doing it anyway. President Joe Biden asked Congress for an additional $33 billion in military and humanitarian assistance for the Ukraine. So the more money they pump and dump, the more money that they get up and they saying, guess who's going to suffer? Everybody else, because America ain't got $33 billion. So you asking for more money to get for a further debt, they go send it down. Meanwhile, Howard University got rats and busted pipes and all kind of madness going on over there. They can't get a little bone thrown at them, but the hell with Howard anyway. Because they opened up their doors and said all Ukrainians can come over here and go to school for free for the summer, free room and board and the whole nine. And if you can afford it, you can stay when the fall semester kicks in. So the hell with them and giving handouts to them. Give a handout to the young cat with the GED, man. That's trying to get into a college that can't qualify, so he's got to go to a junior college and claw his way in. No, you can't do that. You got to lick the boots of master, don't you? So slow Biden's out here panhandling, trying to get some more money for the Ukrainians. $33 billion, in fact. But why? Look. Oh, yeah, you better hold that head. Exclusive, Joe's missing millions. Oh, they was worried about Trump and his tax returns. Slow Biden's got some explaining to do. He's got his own scandal going on. Told y'all, man, the damn Slow Biden family, that's a criminal organization. He's got a son, man, that's, former crackhead, loves harlots, and got a baby mama. Man, they live like straight niggas out the hood. Slow Biden out here extorting nations and doing everything. Didn't he extort the Ukraine? When they was over there investigating his business dealings over there, they had that lawyer over there looking into it, and he said, man, if you don't get rid of that prosecutor, that $1 billion that we was going to give you, you're not getting it. And the Ukrainians was like, hold on, you can't do that. And he said, man, I can't. Call Barack. And he said, within 24 hours, he said, son of a bitch. He was fired. Shaking down, man, extorting cash. Man, look at this. Joe's missing millions. Financial records reveal Biden had $5.2 million in unexplained income. $5.2 million in unexplained income. You listen, and he's talking about he wants to know about every $600 transaction on your PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App to make sure you're not skimming up money off the top. What? If that's not the pot calling the kettle black, you got $5.2 million, man, that you can't account for. Where'd you get that money from, man? As emails show, he paid Hunter's legal bills for one megabucks Chinese deal and was tapped as, quote, the big guy to get a 10% cut in another. So he's over there, man, side hustling when he was vice president, getting money from China, getting money from the Ukraine, getting money from Russia. He was getting 10% out of every deal that his son was doing. And and that's the whole reason why this laptop is on the table, because all them deals was illegal. Now, if he's involved in that, that's illegal activity, man. He should be getting impeached. He should be up on charges, man. He should throw his old ass into the damn darkest deep cell. But they ain't gonna do that. The rich get richer, man. You know what they say, man. When there's dirt going on, follow the money. So is this gonna be enough to get rid of him? Is this gonna be enough to impeach him? Sit him down? I mean, he's already old and decrepit, man. Can't remember 2 sentences. Falling upstairs, getting lost at his own damn compound. I mean, he's not gonna make it to 2024, man. They're gonna get rid of him, man, and God forbid who comes behind him. Kamala Harris can't handle it. She'll mess around and quit, and whatever demon comes up after that is really gonna go down. Either that or the Republicans gonna take over the damn house. Who knows? But this dude's in a lot of trouble. Okay. Emails from Hunter's laptop reveal Slow Biden agreed to pay his son's legal fees for his deal with the Chinese government-controlled company. Joe was able to pay the bills after earning millions of dollars through his and his wife's companies after he left office as vice president. But analysis by DailyMail.com of the president's financial record shows $5.2 million is unexplained. The missing millions and emails on Hunter's abandoned laptop suggest Joe would have a 10% share in Hunter's blockbuster deal with the Chinese. The revelation ties the president even closer to Hunter's overseas business dealings despite the White House's denials. Well, of course they're going to deny him. He's always lying. But see, that's the ministry of truth. They claim they're telling the truth, but they're telling lies. And then when you say something that's true, they say, no, that's lies, and we got the power to shut you down. Look at this demon, man. They are all our children. He's talking about your children, my children. Biden sparks fury from parents by telling teachers that kids are yours when they're in the classroom as he takes aim at Republican efforts to stop sexually explicit lessons and books. Did you hear that? And look at these 2 pictures I found. And y'all know his scandal, man, how he gets touchy-feely with the kids. Look at the little Edomite girl. She looking like, please don't touch it. If you don't let me go, I'm uncomfortable. As he's whispering in their ear, and look at him. He wants to kiss his little Moabite on the head. I mean, who gives this dude the authority, man, to be touching these kids like this? You don't know them. They're not your kids. They're not your family. They're not nothing. You run up and just feel like you can just grab the girl's arm and pull her close to you and whisper in her ear. You think that you can put your hands on this little Moabite? On her ears and cover her ears up, man. Want to kiss her on the head, man. This dude's a straight perv, man. Peter. And then he's telling the teachers, when the kids are in your classroom, they're yours. Did you hear that? And this is all based upon Republicans saying, we need to stop the sexually explicit lessons in these books. He's saying, no, we don't need to worry about that. I want that taught. And when the teachers are in there, the kids don't belong to the parents no more. They're wards of the state. Babylon is daddy. I'm white zaddy. I want control of the minds, hearts, and their bodies. Teachers, have your way with them. See, President Slow Biden defended teachers Wednesday by decrying GOP-led efforts in some states to ban books and shape curriculum. Today, there are too many politicians trying to score political points banning books, Biden said in the East Room as he hosted the Teachers of the Year, all because it doesn't fit somebody's political agenda. He's talking about somebody's political agenda. See, this is ridiculous, man. He's got a political agenda, and he's saying somebody else does. You're talking about a man who's been a career politician for over 46 years, and he's talking about political agendas. Okay. He added, the teachers, we have to stop making them the target of the culture wars. In comments that quickly incensed conservatives online, Biden told the group representatives, the best teachers in the nation, they are all our children. They're not somebody else's children. They're like yours when they're in the classroom. These are quotes. So you wonder why they're allowing this sodomite agenda, man, through the education system. They want the kids from kindergarten on up, teaching them about gender, teaching them about I did the report, what was it, last week with the uh 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 I think I played I played the video, man, with the Tucker Carlson had the Edomite that did a um reverse gender situation. She was a female, turned male. Now she back female again. And she said the whole inside scoop is it is an agenda. She said she had body dysmorphia because she was anorexic. And the doctrine is if you got any problem with your body, it's because you're trans. Oh, it's not because you're skinny. Oh, it's because you're skinny because you want to be a boy. You should be you should embrace your boy body. Next you know, she buys into that. You know, and they get them. They got her turned out. And then when she finally wake up, she like, wait a minute, this ain't right. I don't feel right. And she went back to being a woman again. But she said that the psychologist and the child therapist and all them is already equipped and ready to roll to turn them out. And now here they go. You remember the teachers? They got caught grooming the kids, monitoring their computers, and they ended up getting on her head because they were recruiting them into their little LGBTQ groups. And I forgot what county it is out here. But I covered that months ago. So the agenda is real. And now you hear it from the mouth of the damn devil himself. Your kids are mine. And the governments and the teachers. And now since we're on this political thing, look at him. He done backtracked again. Biden says Ukrainians shouldn't enter the U.S. through the southern border. Oh, he said, man, don't take the back door. You got to come through the front. Because why? It was getting revealed once that Title 42 came off. Actually, before he even took off Title 42, he said that he would accept 100,000 Ukrainians with open arms. He said, if you can get here, we'll welcome you in with open arms. Y'all remember that? As soon as they got over here, they flooded the border. They pushed all the damn 10 tribes and the Haitians and everybody else to the back of the line and said, look out. The good white folks from Ukraine are here. The refugees from that war is here. They're running from a humanitarian crisis. Not you spics over there. Not you niggas from Haiti. Not you sand niggas from Saudi Arabia or wherever you coming from. Not you gooks that's coming from China. Not you Filipinos that's coming from. No. Y'all stay in the back. We need the good white folks, the blonde hair, blue eye, the Christian one. We need them to come up here first. Once that starts getting exposed, slow Biden says, damn it. That's busted. We're busted on that now. Hey, you guys don't come through the border no more, man. I got to shut that down. You guys got to come through the airports. You got to come through the regular way. Didn't tell them they can't come. Didn't tell them. He said, just don't come through the border no more. It's causing too much problems, too much friction. I read y'all the reports, man, with the 10 tribes and Jake's down there. Even the Africans, cats from Cameroon and all that was saying, man, we getting bypassed. We're not getting treated equally here. What's going on? We've been here longer than them, and they getting ushered in faster than us. So we see here, complexion for the connection. President Slow Biden said Ukrainians fleeing violence don't need to try and enter the United States through the southern border because they now have access to a special visa system. Oh, they get special treatment. But everybody else is sitting down there with the aluminum foil blankets and the cages and the families being separated and drowning in the Rio Grande and everything. Oh, no, you don't have to go through that struggle. Ukrainians, you my Edomite brothers, you come on over. We got a special system for you. You ain't got to go down there and be amongst some spics and niggas down there. No. We have made a direct means by which they can get from Europe. Direct line. They said, man, if you can hop on the plane, get over here, man, you welcome in. And I got $1 billion waiting to divvy up for all of y'all. from Ukraine directly to the United States without going to the southern border. Biden said at the White House after a speech unveiling new aid to the Ukraine. Biden announced last week a new system allowing Ukrainian refugees to enter the United States on humanitarian grounds. Oh, humanitarian grounds. So I guess the wars that's going on in Honduras, the wars that's going on in El Salvador, the wars that's going on in Mexico, the wars that's happening over there, and the famine and the poverty that's happening over there in Haiti, the wars and the poverty that's going down in whatever countries that brothers and sisters are coming from, Colombia, Brazil, whatever. Although those aren't humanitarian efforts, man. Third world conditions ain't happening over there. I didn't just cover about the murder the murder rates over there in Guatemala and El Salvador and the gangs that overran that place. We ain't talked about the cartels. Then there's 60,000 have died in cartel wars since like 2016, I believe, or 2010. But there's no war going on over there. There's no need to, because why? Because they not human in the eyes of the so-called white man. Oh, but these Ukrainians, they're humanitarian. See how that works? Now they're getting carte blanche. In other words, they're getting special treatment. They've made direct means by which they can get from Europe, from Ukraine, directly to the United States without going to the southern border. Biden said that said at the White House after a speech unveiling new aid to the Ukraine. Biden announced last week a new system allowing Ukrainian refugees to enter the United States on humanitarian grounds. They require a sponsor inside the U.S. to be eligible. The program called, quote, Uniting for Ukraine will provide a streamlined process for Ukrainian refugees seeking to come to the U.S. The Ukrainian applicants will need to undergo rigorous security, vetting, and checks, including biographic and biometric screening, and complete jabs and other public health requirements, including receiving their third letter in the alphabet -19 jabs to be eligible. Ukrainians must have also been residents in Ukraine as of February 11th. I mean, look at this. Are you telling me white privilege doesn't exist, huh? Okay. Moving on. Now look at this madness. This is what Slow Biden is endorsing, saying when them kids is in the classroom, this is what we're gonna teach them. They're yours. They're mine. Oops, hold on. I'm giving y'all a sneak preview. Look at it. Government-funded report urges the NHS to use terms, quote, chest feeding and frontal birth instead of breast and vaginal. Did you hear that? Government-funded reports that they want to change the language when it comes down to breastfeeding and vaginal birth. They say no longer breastfeeding, no longer vaginal. You can't even mention, don't even mention a vagina. It's Friday Night Lights. The kids should be asleep. Okay. I ain't say nothing vulgar. But listen, change breast to chest feeding. Don't mention vaginal. Just say it's a frontal birth. Can you imagine the damn madness that this place is into now? The agenda, if it's not clear, I don't know what to tell you. The recommendations are based on the experience of 121 pregnant trans people. It's all for brothers and sisters. I don't know if it's on the I don't know if I uploaded it on the Messengers of the Covenant on the Reloaded page that y'all on. But I did a lesson on the IQAhmath channel. If you haven't seen it, go over there. And it's called the Scrabble Gang, the LGBTQ HIV are agents of Satan. And it goes in, I'm going into the whole rundown regarding this whole agenda from scriptural, biological, propaganda, governmental, the whole nine of how this whole agenda is wrapped up into one, right? So this is the power of the trannies. They're saying now it's not fair for you to even mention breasts or frontal. Hold on. Let's see. Sooner or later, they're going to say, don't even read this. Proverbs 5:19. Let her be as a loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. I mean, this is how the Most High said you were supposed to be in love with your wives and your significant others and whatnot. Passionate. And here they go. Leave it to them. They're going to say, don't say breast, just say chest. Let her be as a loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her chest, and it might have a slash. Let his or her chest satisfy thee at all times. I mean, good Lord. How, how ridiculous is that? They got the pregnant man emojis now, right? Watch this funny one. I'm gonna show y'all something funny. Uh, since they love since they love the tranny movement so much, right? Look at your boy. Bill Gates ain't got implants. Bill Gates got double D's, man. He turned it into a tranny. Since they love the agenda so much, right? Why not get him? No. Look at him. Hey, he about a D cup damn near. So Bill Gates is fully with the mission, ain't he? All right, before they say that's misinformation. Look, it was a joke. There was a doctor video that somebody blew up. I mean, that's how cold the damn deep fakes are. They had the video and they had the pictures of him walking across the street. Man, they didn't gave him some missiles on his chest. I mean, but really, here's the real one. I mean, he does have man boobs, man. He got moobs. Look at that. I mean, he's about an A cup. So is it really fake news? I mean, there's some trannies out there who would deal with a body like that. Am I lying? All right, let's get back to serious business, man. So anyway, this is what's going on. So now they're trying to restrict language, man. This is the thought police. This is the Ministry of Truth. This is them coming out here saying, "Oh, you can't say that. That's misinformation. If you say breast, oh, that's misinformation. That's misleading. That's hate speech." Okay. The recommendation are based on the experience of 121 pregnant trans people. Some said a lack of a quote inclusive language is maternity was consistently triggering. One celebrated being provided a private room to give birth in to avoid women. Oh, good Lord. Maternity services should use inclusive terms like chest feeding so trans pregnant people aren't offended, a government funded report says. The report from the LGBT Foundation made the recommendation after surveying 121 Britons on their experience of pregnancy. Another example of a gender loaded term is vaginal birth, recommending frontal or lower birth instead. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Look who they target. Maternity services. This was the picture that they were promoting with this whole article and with this report. Look who they targeting now. Look who they're speaking to. Can you imagine? And you see, this is the woman. She had the mastectomy done. Here's her scar. She got the belly, right? And here's the female looking like a dude. I mean, all right, I'm out of here, man. This is ridiculous. Oh, but leave it to them, man. They do no wrong. These are angels, aren't they? Transgender Rikers inmates serving time in women's prison, in women's wing of jail for assault, rapes a female prisoner in a bathroom after victim finished showering. And didn't we just cover a story 2 weeks ago about a tranny in jail in New Jersey, knocked up two other females? Or how about the trans kid that raped two girls over there in Virginia, who's out right now? How about the sodomites, man, who been drugging up uh and killing cats, man? I mean, I didn't cover all these stories. Here they are talking about we want rights, we want your kids, we want to educate them. We need to have you be more tolerant. We need to look. What do they say? Uh, not offend. This is offensive to me. What are you talking about? Somebody asked you to draw these damn pictures and make them black. I mean, get out of here. Anyway, look at this. Transgender Rikers inmate serving time in the women's wing of jail for assault rapes a female prisoner in a bathroom after the victim finished showering. Ramel Blunt, 33, pleaded guilty on April 7th to sexual assault in a plea deal. The 33-year-old victim reported the incident to jail officials, and a rape kit was administered, which matched Blunt's DNA in New York State Registry. Blunt received a 7-year prison sentence in additional 8 years of a post-release supervision. A full order of protection was issued, and Blunt was also required to register as a sex offender. Rikers Island, which is home of more than 5,000 inmates, has been plagued with escalating violence, detainee death, and widespread staff absences. But nothing wrong with the trannies, man. They're innocent people, man. They do no wrong. I mean, these are dudes, man, copping out saying that they're women so they can shack up and try to feel safe around women, and then they in there raping them and getting their rocks off and impregnating them and all that because they scared to go line up and do their time with men. Let me be careful with this. John Hopkins professor mocks Frankenstein Fauci for refusing to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner despite being jabbed up 4 times. He got poked up 4 times and points out that the vid czar is actually a rheumatology expert. So I didn't say it. This John Hopkins professor, Dr. Marty Makary, he's talking about Fauci's credibility. And they had a White House dinner, and Fauci said, I can't go. The risk is too great. And they saying, what's the problem? You're supposed to be good. Are you scared to sit down and have dinner? And at the same dinner, man, Slow Biden went and had his quick little meeting and ran up out of there. He said he skipped the dinner part because he was scared of the vid. And he's supposed to be triple jabbed or quadruple jabbed. So how safe and effective is it? I mean, how I mean, if you scared, what's the deal? Let me move on because I don't want to, I don't want to incite nothing. But read it for yourself. What you laughing at? What's she laughing at? Huh? Oh, Kamala Harris tests positive for the vid. Really? No wonder we haven't seen her. Quadruple jab VP is forced to isolate after a trip to California. Uh-oh. So you trying to tell me she got hit up 4 times and she still caught the thing? Safe and effective, huh? That was supposed to be the end all be all, man. You supposed to be good after that. How many times have we seen positive tests after getting poked up in the arm? And she got the nerve to laugh. Look at her. Look at her fangs. Good Lord. That's all she good for, man, is a good laugh. Same with her damn white zaddy, Slow Biden. She has not been she has not been a recent contact to the president or first lady due to recent travel schedules, press secretary Kirsten Allen said. And then Jen Psaki, the White House mouthpiece, she tested twice and she been jabbed up. Twice. She done tested positive. The vice president and Obama just had it. They all getting hit up, man. The vice president initially took 2 rounds of the Moderna jab and took her second booster shot on April 1st. Interesting. Took about 3 weeks before her results came back, huh? Okay. Harris, 57, is not currently experiencing symptoms. Her husband, Doug Emhoff, contracted the virus in mid-March. Oh, so he's super spreading. And I'm sure he's poked too. Anyway, let's move on. So check this out. More than 150 million jabs are sitting unused or have gone to waste, as FDA regulators say they may approve even more. Did you hear that? They don't want these things to go to waste. They didn't spend a lot of money research and they're trying to get them arms primed and ready. So the FDA is saying, well, how do we get rid of these things? We can't throw them away. That's a waste of money. That's a waste of science and research. That's a waste of lives. Well, we're just going to open up more regulations, make it available for even more people. We might have to institute more mandates. So is it really about the virus or is it about not wasting these the medicine? Okay, let's look at this. So the FDA regulators say they may approve even more jabs, including shots for children under 5 and fourth doses for adults. Dr. John Brownstein, an epidemiologist at Boston's Children's Hospital, said it was likely anyone who has not been jabbed would remain unconvinced of the importance of the jab induced protection. You're damn right. But they're steadily trying to jam it down the throats of people. Oh, look at this. Pfizer is forced to recall a drug used to treat hypertension after pills were found to be contaminated with cancer causing compounds. Uh oh. So Pfizer is forced to immediately take a drug off the market that they were using to treat hypertension as they realized it was contaminated with cancer causing compounds. So Pfizer is forwarding drugs that was causing cancer that's supposed to be for hypertension, and they were given authority to get a therapy treatment to help fight off this pandemic and put it in your arms, and they're trusted that everything in there is solid, huh? Nothing in there could be causing any problems. No myocarditis, no heart disease, no blood clots. None of that stuff really. All these people testing positive after getting poked up in their arms multiple times. Interesting. I mean, is there any lawsuits? Any cases popping up? Are they not shut down? I mean, you can't go to a restaurant that's got a D grading before the health inspector comes there and shuts the place down and says, "Man, clean this place up, or you're going to be out of business." Isn't that how that works? This ain't their first offense either. Let's look at this. Pharmaceutical giant Pfizer is recalling 5 batches of its hypertension drug, Acupril, after it was found to contain chemicals that can cause cancer. So when these individuals that's been taking it, they pop up with cancer 5 years down the line, are they going to be able to sue Pfizer? Are they going to be able to bring up on charges and say, "Man, you just committed attempted murder on me, man. I'm going to die from this thing possibly"? No, they can't do that. Can't do it. They got plausible deniability. Big pharma can't be sued. All they need to do is just continue on experimenting. The recall comes after research found that batches of the drug contained increased levels of a cancer-causing agent, nitrosamine. It was announced on March 22nd and involves 5 batches of pills containing 90 bottles. Pfizer says those bottles have been split into smaller prescriptions and has urged any doctor or pharmacist who dealt with the shipments in question to contact them immediately. You think? More dirt under the nails of the so-called white man. Moderna officially asked the FDA to authorize the jab for children as young as 6 months old. 6 months old. Look at that. Why? Oh, because you got a gang of them sitting up? You don't want to go to waste? So you got to get in the arms of the kids? The 6 month olds? They need it? I thought the kids were the least likely. They had the most active immune systems and they were good. Oh, well, let me leave that alone. That might be medical misinformation. Even though I read it through the CDC. Even though I heard Dr. Frankenstein Fauci say it last, what was it, 2019, 2020? Okay, let me move on. The plagues are continually infecting and spreading throughout the world. We've covered them on a number of occasions through the scriptures, so y'all should see and shouldn't be amazed at what's going on. We got the avian bird flu still going around. Now look at this. Child dies of suspected hepatitis in Wisconsin as mystery outbreak sweeps the world. The world. 20 cases now in US and 200 globally, with at least 18 kids needing liver transplants all of a sudden. New plague is here. Hepatitis on steroids. 18 kids needing liver transplants has already hit 200 global cases, 20 in the US. They had a number of them in Alabama. Hepatitis is here, okay? But there's always got to be a new threat. New threat in the world. Guess who's back? Oh, Ebola is back. Democratic Republic of Congo logs a second death and fresh outbreak as local health chiefs warn time is not on our side. Bird flu, the vid, hepatitis, Ebola. You got drug resistant STDs going on. I mean, you talking about the plagues of death being let loose, pestilence in the world, let alone America. I mean, it's here. It's here. Look. This is it. Alarming outbreak of hepatitis in children may have been brought on by the vid lockdowns. Oh, really? So the lockdowns was actually more detrimental than they were beneficial? You don't say. Alarming outbreak of hepatitis in children may have been brought on by the vid lockdowns, weakening immunity to a normal virus, health chiefs say, as U.S. cases hit 11. Okay, I'm going to leave that one alone. But you see it here. We just covered that. 169 cases of acute hepatitis of unknown origin found in 12 countries, 9 in Alabama, 2 in North Carolina. We just got through saying that it's in Oklahoma. Right? Unbelievable. Okay, let's look at this. Germany fears Russia may cut off its gas supplies next unless it agrees to pay bills in rubles after Putin stopped sales to Poland and Bulgaria. See, Germany is in fear of Russia, man. Russia's got them in their pockets. Now that they went and gave them tanks over, we'll see if Russia doesn't, break their covenant and say, look, man, you just got to sending tanks over here to help destroy us, and you want us to continually send you power and gas? I mean, cut them off. See, the agreement was Russia said in order to fight the sanctions, they wanted all countries that have energy and oil agreements with to pay them in rubles in their national currency rather than U.S. backed currencies. So they already cut off Poland and Bulgaria. Told them that gas and power is not coming to you no more. See, that's what's happening. Russia's kind of smart, man. They strategically are cutting off resources to Ukraine, now hitting up Poland and Bulgaria, two NATO nations, cutting them off. Germany about to cut them off. So once they cut off from resources, from power, from things that they need, oil for the gas and all that other stuff, crop supplies, that's what they doing hitting up Ukraine. They trying to take out all their resources and all that. They ain't really hitting up, like really going in and destroying military compound base. They ain't doing that right now. They trying to cut off and slowly but surely capitalize on areas that they had strongholds for resources and stuff like that. Once those things are cut off, you got to bring them to their knees and say, look, man, I cut off everything. They either bow down or I'll just come for your head. And that's next. So that's what he's doing to Poland, Bulgaria. And he's trying to get them to bow down and say, look, I'll cut you off unless you pay me in my money. So them sanctions ain't working, clearly. Russia's accused of blackmailing governments and millions of families across Europe by turning off the gas taps yesterday. So imagine fuel, imagine power, electricity. You know what I'm saying? Your money's in your methods of import and exports. For the trucks, ships, normal transportation, your power and your energy at home. They was all relying upon that, man. And Russia said, man, I'm turning off the power. Pay me in my money or else. So they're turning up the heat too. No pun intended. Europe's biggest energy companies prepared to undercut EU sanctions by agreeing to pay for Russian gas and rubles. See that? Putin ain't no dummy, man. He got all them European Union's countries, man, by the balls. He like, look, man, I'll turn off your power if you don't kick in that money. I don't give a damn about these sanctions. I know how to get money. Large gas companies in Germany, Austria, Slovakia, and Hungary intend to open accounts with Gazprom Bank as ordered by Vladimir Putin, according to reports. So they're going to bow down and pay them damn pay that gas in rubles, or their countries is going back to the dark ages. And they saying, Putin's over there decrepit, holding on to tables to hold his balance up, and wobbling all over the place. He's sick. Now that's slow Biden, and we all know that. Look, the whole world faces the biggest energy shock since the 70s, says the World Bank. That's not me. The World Bank is saying this. Energy prices have risen sharply since Russia's invasion of the Ukraine and are expected to continue at historically high levels until 2024. So this is where we're headed for the next 2 years, bare minimum, harming economic growth, according to the World Bank. This amounts to the largest commodity shock we've experienced since the 1970s, said Dermot Gill, the World Bank's vice president for equitable growth financing institutions. Trade restrictions and rising food, fuel, and fertilizer prices are exacerbating the shock, which is predicted to push energy prices up by 50% this year. So energy costs is going to be hidden over there in Europe. It's going to filter over here. It's going to filter out because you see food, fuel, fertilizer. Say that 3 times. I'm struggling. Triple F's, man. Food, fuel, fertilizer. They're saying that's going up and that's going to be affected for at least the next 2 years. So are you strapped in? Are you buckled up? Are you ready for the ride? Because it's going to we're talking famine. You're talking energy prices. You're talking about you not being able. Wages are going down. Cost of living is going up. You already see men out here in California, man, cats are stealing gas. Damn right they're gonna be stealing food. You see the little young Jake I did a story on last week, 10 years old, man. Police hemming him up because he stole a bag of chips. Why the hell you think he stole the chips? He's hungry. That's where we're at. Second as 15, we went over that ad nauseum regarding the man not regarding the his neighbor and going in to steal for a lack of bread. Paraphrasing. Next couple years is gonna be hell. Leave it to what the World Bank is saying. Leave it to what every economic report is saying. When's the last time you seen green on your Robinhood or your Webull that you trading your stocks on? Been a while, hasn't it? Everything's red, isn't it? Oh, okay. It ain't looking good right now. Let's move on. Look at this. Boy 14 who was charged with the rape and murder of his cousin. Rape and murder of his cousin Lily Peters, 10, is pictured for the first time as it's revealed his father is a pedophile who was caught with a stash of child porn. Like father, like son, huh? Like father, like son. See, the scriptures say, man, menstruous women's gonna give birth to monsters. Where's that at? Second is 5. Let's read verse 8. It says, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. This is the end times that we're reading in right now, man. Can you imagine? Women bringing forth monsters. I mean, this little Edomite man, heathen, you talking about the devil incarnate, 10 years old, raped his little 10-year-old cousin, killed her. The seed of the damn devil, man. The father's a damn pedophile with a stash of child porn. What you think he learned all that stuff from, man? The killer cousin. You see it here. The white man's not the devil, though, man. I mean, he don't have an evil seed going on within him. No, no, no. You Israelites, man, are just hating. Okay. Well, there you have it. One example. Let's move on. Let's say RIP, man, and the Catholicism, man, going down in Latin America. Finally, there's a little breakthrough. I'm not gonna say holy, man. Is it? We always say, man, religion is a drug. The Catholic community, man, is declining down there in Latin America. Only thing they doing, they switching drugs to the evangelical faith. But it lets you know, man, that they open to receive greater understanding. They're breaking free from the bonds of captivity of Catholicism. We just got to get them over there to jump on the bandwagon of the truth. Strike while the iron's hot. See, the decline of Catholicism in Latin America. Catholicism is losing its grip in Latin America as the percentage of people who say they identify as evangelical has grown. Data shows. So, they're going from, basically from crack to heroin. But at least they're leaving one. Now we got to get them to leave this next one. But they're leaving. That's the whole point. Right? You talking about after damn near, let's see. You're talking about 1492, maybe about 500 years of brainwashing, and longer than that, really. Longer than that. Going back to the Spanish Inquisition, all that, 14, 1500s, 1300. I mean, bad news, man. Bad news. But we're seeing here, Latin America is breaking free from the bonds of Catholicism and its idol worship and its pedophilia and everything else is going on. They finally are waking up, and they're thinking that being an evangelical Christian now, which is a little bit more radical Christian, but definitely not nearly where they need to understand truly what the word of the Lord is saying. But now that we know the minds is open and they leaving, we got to get them. We got to get them. Why it matters. The Catholic Church has historically influenced Latin American laws and politics. Its decline is starting to impact some countries' policies, even as other faiths grows. For example, several countries have recently decriminalized abortion, recognized gay marriage, and pushed for transgender rights. You see that? They sliding in. I just said, crack the heroin. I mean, how many people still smoking crack right now? But heroin is up. Meth is up. Pick whatever drug of choice you're saying. This is what they into now. They in from one pot to the next. But if they leaving, we need to find some way to get them this damn truth. Okay, by the numbers overall, the number of Latin Americans who said they don't have a religion jumped by 6 percentage points from 2010 to 2020, according to their most recent Latino Barometer, the premier regional annual survey. The percentage of people who identify as Catholic dropped from 70% in 2010 to 57% in 2020. So they're leaving in droves, but they're finding themselves still stuck with a different needle in the arm. We got to liberate them with the truth. Look at this. Step away from the burger. Nationwide ground beef recall over E. coli contamination fears at a New Jersey plant. Another plague then hit. E. coli, beef, right? U.S. Food Safety Inspection Service recalled burgers and mints. Today, it warned over those marked naturally better, Nature's Reserve, or Thomas Farms. I mean, these are, labels that you think is safe. Naturally better. It's got E. coli in them. Nature's Reserve, E. coli in them. Huh? You on the East Coast, man, you got them brands and you got some beef you recently bought, get rid of it. This is a report as of yesterday. Americans who've got this beef in their fridge should throw it out or return it to the store where it was sold, they said. Products are sold in major supermarkets. There are no reports of people falling ill after eating the contaminated beef. Lakeside Refrigerated Services, New Jersey, processed the meats before they were distributed across the U.S. between February and April. E. coli was detected in the meats during routine testing, the agency said. If ingested, it can trigger bloody diarrhea and vomiting about 4 days later. In serious cases, E. coli may lead to potentially life-threatening kidney failure. Good Lord. So if any of y'all got that naturally better, Nature's Reserve or Thomas Farms beef, get rid of it. But don't worry, it's all part of the plan. Swapping meat and dairy for insect proteins and cultured milk could reduce global warming, water and land used by over 80%, the study claims. If you haven't seen my lesson that I did about death on a plate, it's on the IQ channel. Go check it out. Death on the plate. Talked about all of this. They don't want you eating meat anymore. They're talking about global warming because of cows farting and all of that is letting out CO2 emissions in the air, is destroying the earth and all kind of madness. Hey, but you know, bugs and worms and poop. Yeah, poop. Those are all safer bets to eat, man. This is why you got the impossible meats. This is why you got the what's the other name? Uh, you got impossible meats and what's the other plant based? Oh, Beyond Beyond Meat. I mean, the names alone should kind of strike a little bit of warning signs in your head. Impossible, Beyond, and they say, man, them eating those is just as bad as eating meat or worse. And they stand by and they say, we never said it's more healthier. They they say it's not that it's more healthier, but it's because I think they said just the calories, cholesterol, something like that. It's still up there. Look it up for yourself. I would prove it, but time is of the essence. But look it up and see if impossible meats is it more healthier than eating meat. And I believe even Bill Gates and said we never said it was more healthy, but we are saying that it is a better alternative if you want to save the earth. It's some madness, he said. Okay. Insect protein or cultured milk could help cut water and land use by 80%. Replacing animal products with future foods could slash global warming. That's the agenda, man. Climate change, the Green New Deal, all that other stuff. You know, your carbon emissions, carbon credits, uh, global warming, lockdown. I mean, all that stuff is the next phase. So they're already introducing. So when you see something like that, oh shoot, I'm tired of E. coli. I'm tired of meat being processed. I'm tired of the avian bird flu and all of that. And they said, well, guess what? We got an alternative for you. Insect protein. How about that? Soylent Green. We got it all for you. You know what Soylent Green is? You ever seen that movie? Y'all know I've quoted that and talked about that a few times. If you ain't seen that movie, I think they got it on. I think it's on. It might be on YouTube for free. And they actually have one now. See this? Soylent Green. Soylent Green crackers. See? And that's what the food looked like in the movie. Soylent Green was human bodies. Showing the cannibalism. See? And here's the movie right here. It's an older movie, but it's good though. It's the year 2022. Oh, really? People are still the same. They'll do anything to get what they need, and they need Soylent Green. Interesting. If you ain't seen it, check that out. All right, but ironically, oh, they got the drink now. They got the mix. High energy plankton gathered from the oceans of the world. Soylent Green. Soylent Green Oreos. Imagine that. Huh? Okay. So when you're tired of the E. coli, you're tired of the bird flu and everything else, guess what? We got the new meat. We got the new drink for you and all of that. The cops are high in New Jersey now. New Jersey cannabis legalization is off-duty cops can use weed now. Is if they need more liberties, man. You're already beating and killing Jakes and all of that. Now you go out there and smoke weed too. Oh, as long as you're off duty, huh? I mean, give me a damn break, man. I seen a video, man, of a female. She was cop smoking weed on duty. It wasn't off duty, on duty. Hold on. Uh, where is it at? Hold on. Oh, there she go. I'll see. Yeah, they better put it private. But where was it? Here she go right here. You see the blunt in her hand. On duty. She took a couple quick puffs, dipped off. They put it on private. Well, I've seen it before they put it on private. But nonetheless, the cops is high now. More liberation for the cops, man. I mean, how can you even trust their judgment, man? What's going on with these people, man? Okay, New Jersey cops are smoking weed. That's just America's gonna be destroyed, man. This place is finished. Let's move on. Okay, housing is no longer a safe bet. All the elements for a crash are here. They even talking about the housing market going to crash, stock market's crashing, the economy's crashing, housing market. They said, and real estate was supposedly the safe bet, man. The housing market's supposed to be okay to deal with. Now they're saying that ain't even safe. All the elements for a crash is coming. Uh, Anybody who was victims of the 2008 crash, they're saying it's going to be even worse than that. And we seen how many houses was foreclosed, how many people had to file bankruptcy, how many people lost their homes, how many people lost their jobs and businesses and cars because they went into debt, couldn't afford them homes, man, they lost everything. And they saying this next one's coming up is going to be even worse than that. Prepare yourselves, young Jedis. Prepare yourselves. Time is of the essence, y'all. Let me go ahead and get back on here, man. Hopefully everybody's understood and see where we at with what's going on in this earth. Um, Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. Uh, Naftali, man. Shalom, shalom to you. Blessed new month to you, new moon. We'll be keeping it tomorrow night, but respect to you for still acknowledging and keeping the feast of the Lord. I know some brothers are keeping it tonight, others keeping it tomorrow. There's others who's keeping it, I think, a few days from now, keeping the full moons. People that already kept it. Whatever's clever, as long as you're keeping it. I'm leaving that one alone. That could be a debate for whatever, but after just reading everything we went through tonight, man, uh, that's the least of my worries about if you kept the new moon 24 hours before me or after me, whatever. Listen, we're gonna bring a World War III, famine, pestilence, destroying of the housing market, man, the whole nine. All right. What else we missed? Mm, 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 mm. All right, so it looked like everybody's good, man. So I'm gonna go ahead on and log on out of here, man. Shalom, Monica. What's up, family? Yeah, that's it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. Thank y'all for locking in with me tonight. All right, yeah, all praise to the Most High, Natalie, man. Um, Y'all already know, man. Continually fear the Most High, keep the commandments, man. Don't shoot the messenger. Make sure that you subscribe and you locked into the other alternative channels, because, like I said before in the beginning, they are going to be trying to shut down uh, my IQ channel pretty soon, man. They just digging up old archive videos and just slapping, strikes here and there every damn minute. So don't be surprised if that one's disappeared. Most High willing it don't, man. Pray for you, brother. That they don't do that and make me rebuild and restart. But even if that is the case, it is what it is, man. We still gonna keep smashing on these damn devils. It is what it is. All right. But other than that, man, y'all be well, man. Hey, shalom to my brothers over there, the believers of the way, man. Rata Ram and the rest of the fam over there, man. Shalom to y'all. Bayan Shakal. Have a good night, you and the family, man. I'm going to slide up out of here, y'all. All right, I'm gone. Shalom.